let me introduce our two runners for today. We have Zojalyx and Sekeri. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves and get this ball rolling.
Hello, everybody. My name is Zojalyx. You saw me on Friday running Overcooked 2 if you were here. And yeah, joined with me is, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Sekeri. You also saw me on Friday running Warbow and Whirlwind Magician for the almost opening of the day. But yeah, and I'm quite happy to be racing the Relics today on a very, very love game for myself.
Yes, this game I think is loved by both of us quite a bit. Yeah, this is Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. This game was made during like the time that was like considered the golden age of like licensed games. If you've played Final Fantasy X, you were actually going to see a ton of similarities with that game and
Yeah.
this one. It's a turn-based RPG. Basically, the way that I've always described this game to people is that this game is Final Fantasy X with a Lord of the Rings skin on it. I feel like that's a very accurate way of describing this run.
Yeah.
That's funny because I haven't played many RPGs, but the ones I have played are Final Fantasy X and this game. And I just thought it was a weird coincidence that they were very similar.
That's really funny.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
But I think we are all set up here. If the team behind the scenes are okay, we just have to go back to the menu. Just so everyone knows, we are running on easy mode because we are going to, let's say, go a little bit too fast for the game, and we don't want to get destroyed by the end of the run. So
Yes, this game is very, very, very broken. And so as we get later on into the run, it will be very apparent that we are very underleveled for where we are supposed to be.
easy
All
way
right.
is the speedrun way.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Sekeri, if you want to count us down, we'll get us started.
Yep. All right. So we start in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Yeah.
Let's get
so, I have to be the one to first make this point because I can, and it's never running for reals if there's not me running at least one Lord of the Rings game. I think that's happened every year since the start of these events.
True.
So to kind of summarize the story of this while we go in, we're going to be playing as a bunch of different characters that you have never heard of because they are unique only to this game. They are basically going to be stalking the Fellowship, and so we are going to be going through a lot of the events of primarily actually the first movie because this is actually a partial run, Balrog percent. The actual run is around like 3.5, 4 hours, depending on how good you are. And this category is a nice bite-sized category. It's only a partial part of the run, and only does take around an hour. So,
Lucky Nazgul.
yeah, we're gonna deal with a Nazgul, and so I just died. So I guess I'll be forced to reset.
What did you get for the Nazgul attack?
I got
the best
Thrust.
one. Oh, you got the thrust? Okay.
Did you get Slash?
Yeah, I got Slash.
Aw. Yeah.
1
so
second
this is-
advantage.
Yeah, so it's a turn-based RPG. We're going to be dealing with a lot of RNG factors. RNG is a huge factor in this run, and even just like depending on what type of attack you get will determine how fast, whether it's animation speed will actually matter. So we have to hope and pray for all the best animations, which we don't always get, but that's the joys of running a RPG.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, we are meeting the two first characters of the game, Barathor, which is not a very useful character in the speedrun, but we still love him, and Idriel, which is the most broken character of the speedrun, which is
Yes.
the magician of the group.
Yep. So yeah, each character does kind of have their own class and style of attacks / abilities that they have. Barathor is your tank. He's meant to be the person that's supposed to soak up a ton of damage. He is also meant to buff your allies, make sure that they're as strong as they can be, and then he of course does have a few attacks for himself as well. Whereas Idriel, she's your mage. Originally I think she was meant to be primarily just a support class and the healer, but then when we actually get into it, you'll see very quickly that she is extraordinarily broken. The primary attack that we are going to be using with her is Loudwater Fury, and that attack is very, very, very broken.
Yeah, it's a very strong attack. It's a magical attack, which is in speedrun. This speedrun is very important because magic has this little thing that is magic. Unfortunately, don't crits, but on the other side, magic cannot miss. So we always get the exact same amount of damage no matter what when we do a magical attack. And to counterbalance that, most of enemies have different resistance compared to what type of magic you're using. But in speedrun, it's basically a number that we know and that we can use efficiently. So that's why it's so strong, and even even stronger in speedrun.
Yeah. So kind of talking about like the battle mode that when we're in encounters, since we have kind of a long encounter here. So each attack that is not our base attack it uses a resource, what is called AP, or action points. That basically kind of works like our mana. And so one of the important parts, especially in this run, where in this particular category where we don't get that far in the actual game, we are going to be finding ourselves very low on AP multiple times throughout the run. And so it is important that throughout the run, we are managing our action points in the most efficient ways possible. So while it may look like we are just kind of just not necessarily... While it may look like we're making weird decisions, a lot of that could be from just actually trying to conserve our AP.
And I'm reaching for the outpost skip, so we have very nice 3D models to move around the map, but the dev did not sort that sometimes with a shaky hitbox you can just squish yourself between walls, and that's what we are going to do in any percent.
Yep. So there is going to be a ton of just running up to, like, literally running into a wall until the game just pushes us through those hitboxes and pushes us out of bounds. This is the reasons where this category has become as, like, fast as it is, and why the game has actually gone down from, I think when I first started running, or when I first started looking into this game, because I don't run this game too much, any percent, full game any percent was around just under 5 hours, and then Balrog percent, which is the category that we're running right now, was sitting at around the 2 hour mark. And so now it sits at the 45 minutes to an hour, depending on, again, how good you are, and then the full game any percent is now down to 3.5 hours. So you're going to be seeing us clip out of bounds quite a few times. One of the things we are also going to be keeping an eye out on is optional encounters. In the top left corner, you will see the Eye of Sauron show up. That is the optional encounter meter. That is something that we have to pay attention for, because we obviously don't want optional encounters, but I think it's only in this one area where I just got the optional that we will even have a chance of getting optional encounters.
Don't lie. It's you can actually skip this one. It's very close. But the idea is the random encounter works in a way that the more you move around, the more it fills up. So if you manage to do the skip that we did right before this, which is Captain Skip, without moving your stick too much, you might be able to go straight to the loading zone without having to get the tutorial random encounter. And also, if you will see that sometimes if you are not moving in the overworld, your random encounter is just not going up at all. That's because the game is assuming that you are not actively sort of playing the game, so they are not trying to trap you. And this random encounter also will disappear when you get too close to scripted encounters or cutscenes. So the best way for us to never get random encounters is to go from cutscene to cutscene, or to leave a cutscene area out of bounds before things get. Oh, the energy here.
Yeah, so we are now getting introduced to Elagast. He is the third character in our party that we are going to be picking up. He's a Dunedain Ranger. His primary weapon is a bow, and his primary role in the party is your debuff, but he does have a few other abilities that are going to be really, really strong attacks, and we will be utilizing a lot of... Actually, primarily, there's only 2 of them that we use mostly throughout this run, and that is Creature Bane and Aimed Shot. Aimed Shot is just a really powerful attack that has a very, very low chance of missing. And then the other one is Creature Bane, which is a shot that does more damage to animals. So whenever we are fighting wargs, we are going to be wanting to use Creature Bane as much as possible.
Yeah, and also the counterpart to Aim Shot, which is a very powerful, like, precise shot, is that it's what we call a slow attack. So the game has sort of 3 ways to manage your speed and turn order. There's normal actions. So normal action is just you use them and you will go back into turn order at the same point, basically, later. There's fast attack, so basically all the basic attack that you do with your weapon that does not do a ton of damage, and some sort of extra actions are what they call fast attack. They put you quicker into the turn order. And the last part is slow attacks. So slow attack is the exact opposite. They count as if you took 2 turns. So you might say, wait, that's bad. You're doing less damage. But sometimes during the speedrun, when we know that we have 2 turns of character, but we only need 1 action from them, it's good to do a slow action because that skips the next turns. And again, we're saving some frames with this. So yeah, turn order management in RPGs.
Yes, turn order management becomes a massive deal. So currently what I think both of us are doing right now, which I got the weird camera angle, but it's okay. We're doing the biggest skip in this chapter. So this out of bounds clip that we just did skips a majority of this chapter. Normally this chapter is around like 25-30 minutes, but because of this particular skip that we just did, we can now skip like the entirety and we only have 2 more fights going into the end of chapter 1, which we're also going to be introduced to. Our final character that we pick up on our party is Hadhod. I don't really know exactly Hadhod's exact role, like what his class kind of is, but he does kind of a mixture of tanking. He has a large axe that he uses, as well as he also does have some spirit attacks that he uses as well. In this category, Hadhod usually becomes the most frustrating character because of just the way that his attacks and stuff work. We're going to be using his axe quite a bit throughout this run, and we really want to make sure that Hadhod doesn't miss, and because this is an RPG, and I think Hadhod knows that we really just don't want him... that we really want him to not miss, is he makes a point to miss. I forgot to give items to Elagast.
I just got a triple crit. That's okay. What do I do with this? That's not a fight I want a triple crit in. So, just so you know, this troll is very important because this is one of the only 2 fights where Adot can use his axe until we get much later in the run, and you need to use a very specific attack that you need 5 axe attack to unlock, because that's how the game works. To unlock new attacks, you need to use more attack of the same type. So basically, if I want to get more axe attacks, I need to land more hit with axe attack. And right now, I got a triple crit because there's crit that goes from simple to quintuple in this game, and that means I'm going to supposedly kill this troll much faster, but I don't want it because I want to do 3 hits with Adod, which is why I'm literally skipping turns with my characters just to go back to Adod and making sure I get 3 hits with him. So yeah, crits, we love them. They're random and they can kill your run pretty simple.
Yeah, crits will work very much in and outside of your favor. So that's something that we have to be really careful of when we are getting our crits and how they get utilized. And And again, it's one of the interesting parts of the run too, because like when you do get the crits that you want, it's really nice. But on the flip side, when you get the crits that you don't want, that doesn't let you get the ability that you want when you need it. It then just makes things very, very difficult.
Do I
Tell me
have
you
a
get
quick
the healing
second?
item. I did not get
Oh,
it.
sorry.
I did not get it.
No.
Do I have a quick second
No way.
to plug something, guys?
Go for it.
Cool. We did just get our first donation of the day today.
Nice.
So let's see. Cool. It was anonymous $1 donation. Thank you, anonymous. They said Alley Oop is the next run, so let's get some money towards choosing that costume, which I was waiting for a spot to plug that. So that was perfect. They put that towards the Cone of Shame. So the next run is actually being ran by me. It's Ollie Oop. It's a cool skateboarding dog game, and we have the option to dress them up in some funny costumes. So if you guys are interested in that, the link to it is in the chat right there to donate, and you can put any amount of a donation towards any of those polls. It'll be any of the different costumes. There's currently Cone of Shame that's in the lead, and then we have a Santa costume, a space helmet, a cowboy, and a superhero. So if you guys want to see, yeah, there's actually a lot of costumes, but those were the best ones I could pick that I thought were cool. But if you guys are interested in any of that, go ahead and click that donate link and choose which costume you want to see.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the donation.
Yeah.
So this is our first boss fight. This is Watcher in the Water. So there are a bunch of different moves that the Watcher in the Water can do that can be either really, really good or really, really bad. One move that we absolutely do not want to see him do is Reeking Spout. I'm really hoping that doesn't happen to either of us, because if he does enough Reeking Spouts, he will just absolutely delete our party.
Yeah,
And that becomes a huge problem.
Actually, right now our party cannot tank 2 Reeking Sprout in a row, except Alodonegos can, but it's sort of different. Idriel, if she takes 2 Reeking Sprouts, she dies. So we have to keep them afloat, pretty much make sure they are healed up and don't die overall. Fortunately for us, we are not using the very aggressive strat, which is, like I said, use the Loudwater Fury from Idriel to skip some of her turns, even if we don't need the damage of Loudwater at this point, because obviously monster in the water does not get a lot of damage from water. But that's more or less why I just keep using the hero on Idriel, because I don't want to get like banished in 2 attacks. And I should be fine on my side. Oh, you got Reeking Sprouts.
I did get one, so I got 1 Reeking Spout, so my party is pretty low right now, so I gotta hopefully get a good heal. Mainly as long as Idriel can stay alive for a little bit. Oh, and I'm out of AP with Elagast. Okay, as long as I don't get another Reeking Spout here, I should be okay. Okay, we got a Tentacle Whip, so that's fine. Except all of my party members have like no AP right now, which is kind of scary, but it's fine. We should be okay. I just, yeah, that's a finish.
I got very bad RNG. Okay, I got the Kill Up Slime.
No! What? I didn't finish him when I thought I did, and he completely wiped me with a Reeking Spout.
Oh no. No.
Oh,
oh no!
shoot.
I'm winning.
Okay, I did not necessarily plan for this.
Do you have any safety save that you can roll back to?
The latest one I have is Elven Out. The latest one that I have is Elven Outpost, or I can roll to one right after this fight.
I'm a little ahead, so if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, because that would put me back by like 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's never gonna work.
So yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll do that. That was wow.
That's rare.
never been wiped.
Gotta
I
say
have
the
been
thing.
wiped there a few times, but not that often.
Well, you know what we say, never happened before.
That's yeah. That
He
was
said the thing.
Almost
that was
never happened
something.
before.
So for the sake of this run, we're just gonna assume that my fight went fine and I'm okay.
Does your safety save add the shell slime of the first fight?
Yes, I do
Okay,
have shield slime, and I can just double check.
So
Yeah,
you
I got
hear
it.
us talk about this item a lot because there's literally a fight in the future that we cannot do without this item. So I got it, he got it because his fight went really well and he just mastered it.
Yep.
But yeah, the ideal is that we have a very dangerous fight coming about 2/3 into the run. Even I would even say like 3/4. And we are already preparing with everything that you saw us do. So what the stats we put in, and basically when you prepare a Balrog percent run and routing of the run, it's this one fight that decides everything. Because the rest you can just almost always go through without having to worry too much about it. Which is not always the case, because you can have a low rank, you can have lower hits and things like this, so yeah, it's not always perfect, but most of the time you can. And I'm gonna put a little bit of my tinfoil hat on my head right now, because the literal first enemy that we meet after the Watcher is the Watcher. And I think the devs had much more bigger plans for the game, but turned out they did not have any time or any space or anything, and we are something rushing a little bit in this. So this is my theory of that's my conspiracy. I think they really wanted to do more and could not. But I could also completely be wrong, and they just really wanted to do this.
I got reeking spouted again in the second fight.
It's okay. You can tank 2 Reeking Sprout in your second fight normally. But yeah. Did you finish already?
I'm still doing it.
Okay.
Okay, that's
I
a
just
tentacle
finished.
frenzy, so that's good.
That's fine. Tentacle Frenzy is our best option after a Tentacle Whip on Adot, because Adot is very tanky and you can tank Tentacle Whips by the charm. But a Tentacle Frenzy is a very small AoE attack, so we don't care too much about this.
Yeah,
but
it does less than 100 damage, which is really, with how much
Yeah.
health you can see that our party members have, it's not a big deal if it happens.
It's no big deal right now. But let me talk about the enemy that we are going to meet right now, which are the goblins. Because we are, after all, in the Moria, and goblins live in the Moria. I hate those enemies. I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to be like doing hate speech or anything, but goblins, man.
That's valid.
They have the highest speed of the game, which means they can dodge a lot. They play often. That's what I wanted to say. And they have a massive amount of chances to dodge. So basically, you are always trying to hit them, and you never will. Or at least not as much as you would love to.
Yeah, whenever you're spending enough time with goblins, you'll learn very quickly that they do not like to play nice. And
Nope.
so it's always important that we take them out as quickly as we possibly can, because we want to make sure that we are obviously getting through the run quickly. So yeah, we're going to be seeing a lot of goblins, and this is also the last fight where we want to be able to build up Hadhod's Cleaving Wound, because once we get it, Hadhod will become significantly more powerful, and we will be able to take out enemies significantly faster, because how it works is basically we'll do a base amount of damage with the actual attack itself, but then since it is a wound attack, then the goblins are going to progressively lose health over time. And so it's very important that where we can, we want to make sure that we have Cleaving Wound built on as many enemies as possible, so that way they are just constantly taking damage and then eventually will be able to melt.
Come on, please. Thank you.
Okay, I got.
I missed
through
one
the
attack
wound.
on. Took me a lot of time out of the fight.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
I
go
really
in-
wanted to have the cleaving wound. That's and just to tell you how much we despise goblins. I stopped running this game for a while, just because there was a lot more fights against goblin, and then this skip was discovered that literally skips like 3 fights against goblins, and now I'm back in the game. So the less we fight goblins, the happier we are.
Yes, absolutely. And
Can
then
I
of course we
ask-
choose to run the category that makes us fight goblins pretty much the entire time. Sorry,
I was
Spaghetti, you had a
curious.
question?
Yeah, I was just curious. So both of you guys are running the GameCube version, but I noticed that it came out on the Xbox and PS2. Is there any differences in the console?
I think there is. I never remember, but I know there's one version out of the 3 that is bad for speedrunning.
Yes, I think so in the actual like degrees of speed, the Xbox version is the fastest version.
Yeah.
But we are both currently playing on emulator. The Xbox version is so the Xbox version is backwards compatible with the Xbox 360, but for some weird reason, the game acts really strangely when you are playing the backwards compatible port. Why? We don't know. But like you'll get a lot of really weird visual glitches and things like that. And so when you're running a glitched category like, oh, okay, I went into triple wargs and Idriel got double crit and died.
Yeah.
So
Makes
when you're
sense.
running these glitched categories, it can be because they rely so much on camera positioning and different things like that. When your camera is not behaving the way you need it to, it makes it very difficult to execute those glitches in the best way possible. Could you probably learn? Yeah, but it's something I haven't messed with too much. But in the actual run itself, the GameCube emulator version is the next version that will load well and execute glitches well. So we will. That's why at least I'm using that particular version.
Awesome, good to know. I own the GameCube version, so I was just curious myself.
Alright, so currently I'm in the triple warg fight. It's going. I won't necessarily say it's going well, but it is going. And I'm going to need to make sure that I do some perfect mode building. So, yeah, so right next to all of our characters' healths, you are going to see a meter that is our perfect mode. What that will do, what perfect mode is it is this really, really, really powerful attack that we're going to try and utilize in a fight coming up. Ouch. Oh my gosh, I am actually getting kind of bullied here. I got to be a little careful, but thankfully... Idriel will be able to do some healing.
Okay.
So, it will be this really powerful attack that we're going to utilize to just end this really massive forced encounter almost instantaneously. But in order to get to it, we actually have to build up our perfect mode meter, which is that meter up on the right. And when we first started this chapter, we had Elagast equip this item that is called the Elfstone of Nimble Crafting. What it does is it actually, you'll see when I use it how much it actually builds our... oh, I don't want to use the full health to the party right now. How much it will build our perfect mode meter. So we're actually going to be doing everything that we can to build it quickly. Oh, and I think I lost... Oh, did I lose my cleaving wounds on my wargs? I totally did. Oh, no. Okay.
You still need an extra hit to defeat them.
And Elagos just died with a triple crit. Wow, I've never had this fight go that bad. What the heck?
Classic marathon luck.
Oh, that's insane.
That's insanity.
I'm going to take some heat out of you because I'm going to be attempting to do the worst skip of Balrog percent. This is why I'm doing a safety save, because this is a nightmare. So this is one of those skip that use stairs. So you can actually go through textures when the game does not know exactly if it wants to put you, move you forwards or move you down. And it sort of try default to move you down and move you through textures. The problem is if I go too low here, I will be stuck out of bounds and I will have to restart. So focus.
Okay.
I'm gonna go very slow. Not too high, need to restart. But you see me like nudging slowly down, making sure I get what I need of a boost. And we have both visual clues, and I messed up. Nice. We both have visual clues, and to make sure that we don't go too far down. But of course, the game is, it's a very soft spot. So it's a very precise spot. So hitting it over the first try is pretty hard, and even more when you have the pressure of like doing a race.
Yeah, I'm about to attempt it, but I'm going to make my safety save here quick as well.
Let's go again. Let's go again. All right. Give me something to work with. Come on.
Well, at least now I know going into future marathons, though, to make a save before that first watcher in the water fight, because that was wild.
While you guys both do a reattempt of that, I just want to once again iterate that the next run currently does have a poll up. So as soon as this Lord of the Rings race between Zojalyx and Sekeri is done, that poll will be closing, since the option to choose the costume is at the very beginning of the run. So just a heads up to anybody if you're interested in that.
Yeah, so we go through, and then we go from that into directly another clip. We're going to clip out of bounds here. It might not look like I am out of bounds, but normally if you were to go through the actual textures of the level, you would not be able to go where I am right now. So I'm going to clip out again, and then we can come back in here into Balin's Tomb. And I don't think I'm going to need it, but I would rather make another safety save than not.
Okay.
Because you just don't know what's going to happen. So we're going to go into Balin's Tomb here. And what's going to happen is we are going to... There's a ton of enemies. And since goblins are really fast, usually you can start with not being very happy in the turn order. But thankfully, we did get pretty quickly. I just need to get over to Elagast. So once Elagast gets his turn, we will be able to utilize our perfect mode. So you can see there are a total of 5 goblins, 3 on the ground and 2 archers up top. It's why we want this this particular fight is very dangerous in Balrog percent, because we want to not deal with them. But if we go into perfect mode, use arrow volley, it's going to do a perfect wipe of all of them, and that will then get us through to the end of that chapter. So that is already 2 chapters completed out of the 3 that we do in this run. And this next chapter that we are doing is called East Moria, and it is going to have a absolutely massive skip. It is going to be the skip that really just is the defining moment for this entire category, because it is... We're going to be... This skip, I think, skips probably like 30 minutes if you were to go without it.
More.
Yeah. It's an absolutely massive skip, and it's not going to look like it's as big of a skip as it is, but it is huge, and it is actually quite difficult.
Yeah, it's a multi-part skip, and just to give you an idea, before we used to do this one, in the multi-part that we do it now, there was an other version that was 5 fights further with trolls, and that's very dangerous enemies, because just remember, we started in easy mode. We are now, because we skipped so much XP, we are basically doing chapter 2 in normal mode, And now we're just entering chapter 3 with even more missing XP because of the 3 skips that you saw. And we are basically in hard mode. So enemy do a lot of damage. They play much often than us. We have less chance to hit them because there's a different style, level between them and us. And that skip is basically you do the least amount of fight you can, and then you go straight to the end.
Yep, and so it does make it's one of the reasons why this category, like, it's the reason why this category is as short as it is, but it also is the reason why this category can be as difficult as it is, and why we put such a hefty estimate on this run, because a lot of these fights can be a lot scarier, and so it can be very scary, and so it's always important that we are doing everything that we can to make sure that we are going fast and not taking a bunch of damage. So in this fight, we're actually right about to go up into the scariest fight in this run. And what that is going to require us to do is we actually are going to have to switch Elagast out for Barathor. This is going to be the one big moment where Barathor is going to be extremely useful. And so that's really the primary... I mean, this is a forced encounter, so we have to get through this fight. But that's the big reason why this fight is... the big strat that we're looking for this fight, and where the RNG we really need it to be helpful for us, is so that way we can have a point in time where we can swap Elagast to Barathor. And Hadhod's just gonna miss 2 cleaving wounds before I even go into this fight.
That's
so
fine.
that's
Did you get
wonderful.
Dark Evasion, or did you get...
I did get a Dark Evasion.
Okay, so worst RNG. So the Shaman you're seeing right now is the worst enemy of the game. Why that? Because he can do an attack called Dark Evasion, which increases the chances of missing goblins. So remember, goblins are the worst enemies to hit, and they basically can have a buff that makes them even worse to hit. So that's why Shaman's fights are so rough, because they can just start with the RNG saying, nope, you won't have what you want. I'm just going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm getting more luck, but just to give you an idea, we changed the way the stats were distributed before. For this reason, we decided to put even more dexterity on Hadod, so we can make sure that he lands. Oh, I got both of them. I got both of my cleaving wounds. That's a sight you have. So that we can increase the odds of them getting the hits that we need. But yeah, one of the important things that Zojalyx mentioned is that we cannot swap characters of our team in between fights. This is a pretty fresh take on the genre. Most of the time you can change your party outside of the fight, and in this fight you can't. So yep, I got perfect RNG on my fight. I'm sorry.
Oh, my RNG is just continually going bad. I'm still in that fight.
Oh,
and it's continuing to fall apart in ways that I didn't even think was going to be possible.
The game is just bodying you.
The game is just like, nah, it's not happening today, buddy.
But I'm going to go back to the checkpoint because I'm going to make a safety save, because remember, we are right now reaching the famous fight that we prepared so hard for. And just so you know, we reach a very specific point of stats with all our characters. We need to have Hadod have 28 spirits and 35 dexterity, so that we know that under certain circumstances is going to be able to one-shot some enemies. And we need Idriel to have 46 of spirits, sort of, I don't remember the exact number, so she can one-shot archers under certain conditions. And we need Barathor because we need Company Might, and Company Might is the best buff of the game. But why are we doing all this preparation? Why is this fight so dangerous? Well, this fight is what we call a circle fight. So in a circle fight, there's 6 enemies instead of 3, and they're all circling you. And the biggest thing is that you can only hit the 2 characters that are in front of you. So for you, that means that you guys can only hit 2 enemies. But for the enemies, that means that 4 of them can actually hit one of each of your characters. So you're taking much more risk, you're taking much more damage. And to make sure this fight goes well, we have strategies, very like important, all those stats and things, and to make sure that we get this right. So what we are going to do when we get to play, please, can I play? Still not playing, is that we are going to use an item called Shell Up Slime on Idrial, which will increase the damage that she do with the Loudwire Curve. And we are going to, of course, use the Company Might on Berthor. And with the Company Might, now Adod, if he lands a Cleaving Wound on an enemy, he will one-shot them. So he will just kill them with the flame ticks that comes afterwards. And so every time you see them land a hit, I'm gonna be very happy. So just know that it's all about making sure that we get enemies to die in a way that it does not consume too much resource about us. I'm taking a lot of damage on Idrial, that's very bad. Okay, we are playing with Berthor back in. Idrial took a lot of damage, I hope she does not die. But sort of, sometimes the game balances himself, and when you have a character who took a lot of hit at the beginning, they take less hit in the future of the fight. Which is not always the case, I'm gonna say it straight up, because sometimes the enemy just wants you dead, and they do everything they can to get you out. But yeah, we're going to try to make sure everyone is pretty well healed, and that's the job of Berthor in this fight. We gave him Constitution, we gave him a little bit of speed, so that he started at the beginning, and now he's just going to use all the healing items that we picked up during the whole game, just to make sure that everyone stay healthy. I'm getting not a very good fight, but I'm landing the beginning hits, so the fact that I landed the 2 first hits on the 2 first warrior goblins with Adod is going to take a lot of pressure off me, because I know now that those guys are going to die. I don't have to fight them. I don't have to make more attacks against them. I just need to land hits on the rest of the group. And I'm 3 for 3. That's great. And just so you know, we used to have a much riskier triple crit. Thank you. No, thank you. We used to have a much riskier strategy that implied having only 2 tick of the 2 flame bleeding damage of Adod be enough to kill the goblins, but it was very risky because we were much more low on dexterity, and we had much less chance to hit the warriors that we need to hit. So right now the fight is going very well for me. I hope it's the same for you.
It's going decent so far. I have 1 archer dead, and I've hit both of my cleaving wounds, but Hadhog did get double crit, so that's a little scary.
If you
but
got the 2 first cleaving wound, it should really help. At least it's going to save you a lot of headache for the rest of the fight.
Yep, and one of the nice things too is, since I'm using one of my safety saves, my safety save got a item called Waters of Lorien, and that gives full health to your entire party. So even though my party got super low there, since it came to Berthor's turn again, I could just use that Waters of Lorien, and that then gave my party all of the safety that I needed. So now I'm back up to full health. I've just hit 3 cleaving wounds now. And so now we'll see the effects of the cleaving wounds come through on my side as these goblins then start to slowly die off.
That's great. That's great. I got lucky. Got my cleaving wound early, and even if I didn't have the Water of Lorien, I had an extra old Toby in the bag, so I could like temper with the rest of the group. But the fight went really well.
That's good.
That's good for me. I'm quite happy with this. It's not a fight that gets easier with the time.
Nice. Okay,
all
my
right,
warriors are cleaving wound, so we're good.
That's great. You got 4 out of 4. That's what we wanted. That's a very great RNG. But we are going into a troll fight again, and I'm using a bit of a safe strat here. I'm going to use the U1 Power 9 to make them sleep, so I can get everyone get the buffs, and most importantly, to make sure that Adod would hit with the cleaving wound, because the enemy is sleeping, so he cannot dodge, and I'm gonna just wake him up with the axe in his face. And then I'm gonna get double crit on Adod, Wait, that's. Oh.
We love turn-based RPGs.
Yeah, you love RNG so much. Yum yum yum. I just died. He just died on the spot. Went from 1,000 HP to 0.
Nice. So now that we are in the situation that we are actually in a very safe position. The odds of us getting killed now, they're not 0, but they are significantly less than they were prior to that circle fight. So this gives us a really, really nice area of just being able to kind of relax a little bit, not necessarily worry too much about us getting absolutely destroyed. And except watch me get double crit here. Nope, I did not get double crit, so
Please.
that's good.
That's reassuring.
So then we can just now go through and finish up this fight. And then we'll have one more fight before we do the really, really large skip. So Spaghetti, if you have anything else that you want to announce, now is a really good time for it.
Definitely. Once again, I just want to remind everybody why we're here. We are raising money for the Real Hope Project. This is a project that was funded back in 2016, and their goal is to make videos for kids in foster care that are waiting to be adopted. We're hoping that we can raise enough to let me start by saying we have hit the a goal of at least one video. It's about $600 for one of these videos to be made, and so we've guaranteed the one. We are pretty close to hitting a next small goal of $700. We're less than $20 away from that, so that would be nice. And you guys can put your donations towards a current poll, which is the Ollie Oop costume that I mentioned earlier. Cone of Shame is in the lead, but you guys can vote for either that one, the Santa Claus costume, space helmet, the cowboy, or superhero. I personally am hoping the cowboy one gets in because he's got like a little bandana and the hat. It's pretty nice. So yeah, exclamation point donate. I'll put it in the chat for you guys and make it easy for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Spaghetti. So Sekeri is going to be going into the East Moria skip here in just a little bit. And I'll talk through it so that way he can focus on it. So the first thing...
I'm going to say first, so you got a little bit of time.
Yeah. So the first thing that needs to be done in order to execute East Moria skip is we're actually going to be switching in our adventure mode from Idriel to Hadhod. We never really talked too much about why we're using Idriel, but I'll focus on the skip and then we can focus on that later. But Hadhod is going to take a very specific position in the against the chest that Sekeri is going to go up against that he just opened. And once he's in that specific position, Hadhod will start to slide. During that slide animation, you want to quickly switch back to Idriel. Once you quickly switch back to Idriel, the game will shoot you like super far up in the air. And so then what you want to do after that point is you need to then go and move to the right spot so that way you're out of bounds. And then you have to take a very, very specific path out of bounds to be able to skip through a bunch of different areas. There's going to be a little bit of time that is going to be used to... like you're going to be heading towards one area out of bounds that's kind of like a fire pit that we use as a reference point, and then that will lead us to a specific chest that we need to get to, and then we have to use very specific pathing to go underneath a save point, but we have to be in a very specific spot when we are under that save point, because if we're too far to the left, we will clip back into an area where we don't want to be, and we have to go through a bunch of different fights. And that will make it significantly more difficult. So during this point, some focus time will be really, really nice. So that way we can just make sure that we focus on the skip. Because it's really easy to get yourself stuck out of bounds. And if that does happen, you will soft lock the game and you'll be forced to reload it. Specifically right around where I am at right now, this first door area. If your pathing is off a little bit, you can very easily just get stuck and you'll soft lock. But thankfully, I made it through. I don't know how you're doing.
I did not get enough height, so I need to restart it.
Oh no.
That should be fine. I at least I did not get soft lock. Now it's bad. I got like half the launch, so the launch is depending on how fast Adod is sliding to the side, and also there's a very tricky spot here where we need to be very sure to not go too far on the right because there's a death wall. So it's not exactly a death wall in the way that your character dies and end of the story. It's more like you suddenly get no more movement. You cannot move your character anymore. So that's why we are doing this sort of in two different ways. So, but you will also see that we have not exactly the same routes. Zojalyx is going for some fire specific cues, while I'm going for more of a chest options. And we are walking in the dark, but remember, one of the important thing in those clips is that we actually have things loaded. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, and I ended up hitting an encounter.
Yeah, exactly
While
what
out
I
of
wanted
bounds.
to say.
So I get to reload, and the only way that I could think about...
yeah, you got inside the game, okay.
Yeah, the only way that I could think of about reloading is just restarting my whole game, which is really unfortunate, but this is the way to...
Just for you to know, depending on what kind of encounter you get, you are not exactly out of bounds. So you are still out of bounds, but if you can't win the fight, it's useless to do it. So sometimes you just get a random small encounter with 2 goblins, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna lose time, I'm gonna fight them, it's gonna take me some time, but at least I'll be able to do it. But I'm reaching the second part of the skip, which is we are going to hit a loading zone, because again, there's a lot of death walls somewhere around here, and we don't want to hit those. But to hit this loading zone, we need to hit it and not get back inside the game. So that's why I'm lining up. I'm too high. I need to get a bit lower. So I need to have the foot of Adot to be under the level of the chest, so that way I know for sure I'm not in danger. And I'm gonna line up with the checkpoint and go straight forward from the chest. And the idea is that I know with this setup that I'm going to hit the loading zone and I'm not going to pop back in, but I also know that whenever I stop moving, I need to go on the right to make sure I don't get back inside the game. Because we want to get back inside the game, but we don't want to get inside the game from any point. We want to get inside the game from the other side of this ramp. And that's exactly what we got right now. So I'm going back inbound. I'm going to switch back to it real because we don't need add-on anymore. And since we did not get by the right ramp, we can go out of the room because this ramp is now loaded. And we're going to hit another loading zone right next to a wall. And this one is very tricky because if we get too close to the walls like suck us in and we get inbound. And we don't want this to happen. We just want to get this weird visual glitch and everything turned back, and I'm out of this glitch. And now that we load the second part of the game, so basically we were in the first part of the level, we load the second part with the first clip, then we load the third part of the level with the third clip, and then we can go straight to the end. And yeah, nailed it.
Nice.
I don't know how you're doing, but it went pretty fine for me.
Well, I had another encounter. What?
Oh no.
I don't know what I'm... Uh-oh.
Well, give it a third try, but worst case scenario, you can load forward.
Yeah.
And we are now at the end of the game, of the run, pretty much. We still have some stats to do here. I need to, yeah. Okay, focus first for a second. Alright. We should be fine with this.
So
Okay.
Sekeri at this point only has 2 more fights in the run. He is going to be fighting up against 2 more trolls. One of them is going to be a drummer troll. The other is going to be a regular troll that we've seen throughout the rest of the run. And then he's going to be fighting the Balrog. And the Balrog fight is really cool, but we'll leave you in suspense on that one for a while. And then the two trolls fight, it can be a little on the weird side sometimes because like we've already seen, trolls do a ton of damage against you, which can make it very difficult to can sometimes do a ton of damage and make it difficult to do the fight quickly. But
And just
thankfully,
the-
with where we're at and the abilities that we have, it shouldn't be too difficult.
And there's a little Easter egg if you look at the top left corner right here. There's a troll just throwing meat, throwing stuff at you. I don't know why they do this, man. It's pretty funny to me.
That's hilarious. I didn't actually know that was a thing.
Yeah, you can watch at the top left corner of your screen.
Oh,
So who's going
didn't-
first? That's the most important thing.
enough.
The troll was going first. This is not fun. Also, I don't have my perfect mode. This is rare, but I should be fine getting it later. I'm gonna do a little bit of creature bane here. Now we're gonna bring Bertha back in. We're going to give the boost to Elegos, because Elegos is going to use the perfect mode, and most importantly we are going to use the best item in my opinion in the game, which is the Mogul Decay. Mogul Decay is an item that just take the enemy physical defenses and bring them to 0. Which might not sound like a very strong item. No, I'm kidding. It's a very strong item.
It's very, very strong.
Yeah, but most importantly in this run, it means that for this fight, we're going to be able to one-shot the troll with the perfect mode, which will not be an option. But if you do the any percent round, that goes very far into the game. Remember that the way that the game balances in the late game is that basically increase the defenses of the bosses and the enemy that you encounter. So having an item that you can meet a boss and say you have 0 defenses when you are at the very late game is basically asking for one-shots. So yeah, just know that this is one of the most important items in the any percent run. Important to the point that we don't use it on those trolls because there's so little of them in the game. And we are going to actually farm them later when we get to a specific point. But you won't see all of that. Maybe when we do a full run, I don't know, an 80% race of this game. Don't quote me on this, please.
The any percent, the full game 80% run is a lot more difficult to learn. And recently there was a big skip that made it significantly easier to finish runs.
Yeah.
But that skip is pretty wild.
It's pretty wild, but you have to understand that up to now, up to like 6 or 7 years ago, 6 or 5 years ago, I don't remember exactly, it was a coin toss. You go to the late game, you go to 2 hour and 30 minutes of run, and then you have a coin toss of, am I going to beat this one random encounter? And for what we can attempt, it was horrible. You could not farm the game. There was too much randomness into it. And then, wait, yeah, that's right. And then this skip was discovered, which used some memory manipulation, and now we can basically just bully the end of the game by leveling up a character to the max level in one cutscene. So, yeah. It's a pretty important one. But I'm at the Balrog, and the Balrog we see, we are lucky enough we have Gandalf in our team, and Gandalf do a significant amount of damage. So we are going to put every buff we can on Gandalf, and we are just going to hope very hard that the Balrog dies before Gandalf dies. Just kidding, it's absolutely not the case. We are just going to let our entire party die and just hope for the best. We just have to send a lot of damage to the boss, which means we don't really have to be careful with what we do with our action points. But basically, we use an item that increases the Valar lightning. We use the buff of Berthor. We also use the Haste of the Elves, which is a spell of Idril that increases the speed of someone. So you will see me have some double turns with Gandalf's some now and then. And also for extra safe measures, we are going to use the Stone Shield of Adod to tank the first attack that's come to Gandalf. It does not go. It's not going to reduce the entire damage that they take, but it's going to reduce it a little bit. And I just remember I forgot to put my shadow resistance on. Could have been a disaster, but we are fine.
Yeah, so there is one ability that Gandalf has called Endure Shadow, and that becomes one of the most important abilities to use in this fight because you really need to make sure that Gandalf does not get killed by the Balrog, because if he does and the rest of your party is down, you're just going to lose the fight and you'll lose the run. And so with how we are in this run, you absolutely want to make sure that that is what Gandalf has to him to help him take some reduced damage and make sure that he is significantly less likely to die.
And apart from that, we are just going to spam the bolts.
Yep.
Just get ourselves some HP and some AP back whenever we need. But yeah, that's it. I got some pretty low rolls. Normally with the build we have, you need 8 bolts to get the Balrog down. Can I get... No. I would have loved to get a dodge on some of the attacks, but I did not. And also you saw that the breath and the pillar of... I don't really think it's Pillar of the Wrath. Make me lose some action points. So... That's also why we need to have the haste of the Valar, because that helps us have some double turns when I can use an item and make an extra bolt in behind this. How is he on HP? It's too high, so I need to heal again.
That is not
Please.
the right chest. Oh.
Are you getting okay?
I was looking through my safety saves and I didn't have one past...
Oh, you didn't have one past the skip?
East Moria skip, so I'm gonna keep trying it. But I finally got the chest I needed. I just need to get myself lower.
You can stay next to the chest, and you can just
there we go.
Switch characters when you're next to a chest.
Oh wait, still want...
I forgot
So,
to.
no.
So time is coming up on my side, pretty much on the hour mark, so it will be time for me now. And that's a pretty messed up run, but again, discussing, talking, having bad RNG. I'm gonna skip the cutscene
Hey,
so
you
we
got
don't
through.
get DMCA'd into speed into Godspeed. But you got through?
Oh, I'm saying you got through the run. I'm still...
Okay.
Did I get my... Oh, I got stuck!
Okay, so
see, this is what happens when you get stuck. So I'll give this one more attempt. If we don't get it through, then I will just go ahead and mercy kill my race. Because I've already been doing this for a little bit, and I'm sure everybody else is we're ready to move on.
Were,
so hopefully,
were you mentioning
I can
that
get
you had
through
a? Were you mentioning that you had a safety save after this, or no?
I do not know. I thought I did.
Okay.
I was building a bunch of safety saves, and this was the one right after this skip was the one safety save I did not have.
Classic.
Oh, no. That's so bad.
I believe in the third
So-
time's the charm.
I think this is
Do
At
you want
least
to
now
do you want to make the easy route? You want me to guide through to the route I do?
I don't feel the most comfortable trying to learn a new route in the middle of the marathon.
That's perfectly
We'll
fine
see
for
if
me.
this will
Go.
hopefully.
Go with what you're used to. But just so people know, Zojalyx is not exactly doing the same as mine. I could not, for the love of me, do the fastest way this skip is done, which is basically going straight for the second loading point instead of having to go under the stairs and into the crypt. I never managed to do this. The pretty important part is that at the beginning you have to go behind the door, and going behind this door is a very specific point. You have to make sure by checking how the cameras go around you that 1, you don't go down back inside the level, and 2, you don't hit on the left side the the sticky wall, the death wall. But after this, you have to move back inside, and the cool thing is that it's much more visual. There's a fire right where you need to go, so there's a queue much more easier to get at this point. You can then line up with checkpoints and chest, and normally, this is a big normally, I'm putting big quotes about it, it's much faster because you have to go, you make a smaller detour to go to the loading zone that you want to trigger. But the counterpart is that you are walking a pretty thin rope of making sure you don't mess up everything around you. And that's where all those chests that you see floating into space are very important, because they are visual cue that you can just say, I can go there, I can go there, I can do this, I can go do this. So this is one of the things that you can actually be pretty consistent with.
Yeah, I was too far to the left. And yeah, so this is where normally I would want to clip on the opposite side of this wall, which I wasn't able to. So, got really unlucky there. That's one of the harder skips in the run. So we'll go ahead, and that's where I'll just call it for me.
Yep.
I don't want to hold us up too much and see how long it will take for me to get that, but we'll just go ahead and we'll stop it there. But now you can see too, Sekeri made that skip look significantly easier than what I was able to do.
I took the slow routes, but just so you know, that's if you want to start speedrunning this game, I'm gonna be a little bit of an advocate here, because first of all, yes, it's an RPG. Yes, the first encounter you might have with this game is thinking, oh, numbers, I have to think about experience and points and stats, but also it's one of those small challenges that gets under an hour. By the way, the world record is 37 minutes, so ouch. But 47, I don't know exactly.
47, it's 47:32.
Okay, I got scared. But also one of the cool thing is that there's not just manipulation and menus and being fast and knowing exactly where you're supposed to go. There are also those cool skips that you can learn, and that are a little bit of more like precise learning, but you get to know them, and there's alternative ways you can do them. And if, like most of the people, you don't really like to do the glitch ways for RPGs, there are runs with no glitches at all, which are called full chapter, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sorry, say that one more time.
The runs with no glitches is full chapter, or is it?
Yeah, we don't have Balrog % glitchless anymore. Primarily, so my personal category that I run that I'm most comfortable with is actually running Balrog Hundo. So you're running every single quest. That run sits at around 2 hours. That one is primarily glitchless because we just haven't found any ways to be able to utilize any of the glitches in any way that actually makes the most sense for those categories. And they're also a lot safer because you are taking a lot more encounters, so your stats are a lot higher, which is really nice. So if you're wanting something that's a little bit safer in that regard, but does take a little bit more time, Balrog % 100% is definitely the way to go. I'm going to try routing the full game Hundo. I know one runner who did do it, Dino 95 HD, but I don't know how deep he went with his routing, so I want to maybe look at routing that at some point.
From what I heard, he just went with, I'm going to point out where the quests are and just go from point to point, knowing pretty much what the best stats are for my team, and just hope for, and just go for it. Just go for it. But yeah, there's a significant amount of time that can be spent routing new chapters. And also, like I said, if you really want to, if you are still looking for RPGs with very broken overworld glitches, but also a good amount of strategizing, knowing the stats, knowing the skills, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Absolutely. Highly recommend this run.
Yep.
Cool. Once again, thank you guys.
Everything for me.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's it for
go
me.
ahead.
So thanks again, and enjoy the rest of the marathon. Let's try and shoot up to that $1,000 mark, chat. Let's do it. Let's do it.
We can do it, I believe. Thank you so much, Sekeri and Zojalyx, for that cool showcase. It was a fun run, and you guys explained it really well. So really hype. Stick around. We're gonna be switching hosts. I'm actually up next, and I'll be running Alley Oop, and I believe Zojalyx is gonna be the host while I do my run. So you guys will get to hear more of him. But yeah. We'll be back in just a few minutes while we get set up.